All right, welcome to the Personnel Committee of the Albany County Legislature for October 15th. I'm your Chairman, Mark Grimm. To my left is Deputy Chair Lynn Lakakis. Will the other Personnel Committee members introduce themselves, please?
My name is Allison McLean Lane, and I represent the Village of Annapolis, the Hamlet of Loudonville, and the lovely city of Berkeley.
Okay.
Rick Touche, 37th District.
Sean Ward, 16th Legislative
And
District.
we're also joined by the Transit Committee Chairman, Doug Bullock.
Great.
Thanks for joining us as well.
Thank you.
We're meeting one item on the agenda. It's an appointment to the Albany County Airport Authority Board. Sari O'Connor is the nominee. Sari isn't Harry, if I got that name.
Yeah, I'm just here to introduce. This is Sari O'Connor, the county executive's nominee for the open seat on the Airport Authority Board. So.
Okay. Sari,
You can sit on.
That's
welcome.
perfect.
Nice to
Thank
see you.
Nice to see you, yes.
I'll open it with sometimes the most obvious questions are missed. The most obvious question is, what is it about your background that will give you some expertise in airport management?
Well, I have substantive leadership management professionally, and I've also sat on boards, so I'm familiar with governance and worked for a $40 million organization that over the course of 19 months became an $80 million organization when we worked for Northeast Parent-Child Society, merged with Parsons Child and Family Services. I was the Chief Development Officer, and I was on the exploratory team, working on a lot of bonds and funding streams, which I see at the Airport Authority. There's a lot of growth planned over the course of the next. I haven't taken a very deep dive yet, but I am interested in seeing what's going on. I have a master's degree with certificates beyond the graduate level. I think that I'm well educated and well experienced. I also spend a lot of time contributing personally to volunteerism in the community, and I'm looking forward to being involved. I've taken a step back when I semi-retired 2 years ago. I'm busier than I've ever been, but I'm very interested in being involved in the community. I've raised my family here, I live here, I'm not going anywhere, and I'm very interested in what's happening in the community.
Okay. Questions from members?
The Mass Transit Committee had the Airport Authority in at the last meeting, and we went over the 2 5-year plans.
Yes.
The previous and the proposed 5-year plans.
Right.
And the green initiatives in that plan look pretty good to me. What is your assessment? Like, one of the plans is to have a solar canopy in the
Right.
parking lot.
Interestingly enough, when I worked on one of the biggest capital projects before we affiliated, we did a $14 million capital project, and we were one of the first LEED buildings in the city of Schenectady at the time before my offices moved to Albany. I think it's critical. I am conservative as it relates to what we need to help improve our communities, and the whole process of those projects being compliant with what's happening around the world is critical. And I looked at all of the plans, and there's a lot that's happening. So I can't specifically recall all of them, but certainly very comfortable working in that. And we've worked with a lot of government organizations in my prior position in how to make our community greener.
Good. In particular, there are a couple of solar projects that you're planning and going to LED lights.
Yes.
And which will save you a lot of money, because
Did it at my house. So,
I've looked at your National Grid bill, and it's $160,000 a month, and it seems to me that, really good planning on that parking lot situation
Yes.
with going solar would be very economical for the airport.
oh, absolutely. I think we should all be moving in that direction.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we did send you a proclamation on water stations at the airport. You saw that?
At the meeting.
Yeah.
That I had a pile of papers this big. I'm not sure I recall that.
Okay.
That particular problem.
I'll make sure you get one.
I'm sure I have it.
Yeah, okay.
I got a stack of papers this big at the meeting and was flipping through and following along, but I
Good.
will absolutely look for that.
Good.
Okay. Any other questions?
I guess I have a question. Do you have, it was obviously a breadth of experience on here. We're also up for, appointing a new, well, not we're up for, but, we're looking for a new head of the airport authority. Do you have any relationships that might conflict with making a vote in that regard with any of the candidates?
Well, I didn't sit in on the
Sure.
meetings yet, so once I'm supposed to call, hopefully I will be engaged, and I have no concerns whatsoever about participating in the process. I think I'm really very much looking forward to being part of the process. As a new member, I think we have to, work so closely with leadership. I'm very interested in, I believe that it was understood at the meeting I observed, that I would be participating as soon as tomorrow, and be brought up to speed, and then part of the process going forward until it's completed.
I guess the reason I asked, and I maybe should have been a little bit more clear,
Okay.
one of them ended up in the newspaper.
Oh, yes.
And do you have any relationships with that person that?
Through the community, yes, I do. Certainly, I'm not at all concerned about that relationship other than professional. I was an appointee. I sat on the planning board and the zoning board during the Jennings administration. And I was on the leadership team at the Palace for the last 2 years, and there are board members there. So, yes,
Sure.
yes.
Okay.
But I'm not at all concerned about that.
Okay, good.
The relationship is business then?
Yes.
Oh,
Well, not really now, but there
Yeah.
was when I sat on the board and
Correct.
when I reported to the board when I was at the Palace. And certainly, I take my integrity very seriously, and I have no question that I will make the best decisions for the authority.
Any other questions? Mr. O'Brien?
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for arranging this meeting. In picking the new CEO, do you feel that it should be someone from the outside or someone that's involved in airport management? Or do you
Well,
have any ideas on that?
I don't think it would be fair for me to comment on that. I haven't looked over all of the materials, but
Yeah.
most certainly,
Do you feel that experience in airport administration
well, I'd
should
like
be
to.
a factor?
Not necessarily. I think when I went into the arts, I had no experience in the arts, but I think that my skills were transferable. I spent 8 years in human services, and certainly I personally believe in leadership and strong skills to manage people and budgets. These are, I think it was 40+ million in projects coming up.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to have strong skills as it relates to using government funds and public funds. And so certainly that would be where my decision would lie.
So, yes, Lynn?
I like to say about integrity, keep that in mind. And I was wondering if you could tell us where you live.
Oh, I live in Albany.
Okay.
The city of Albany.
That's fine.
Oh,
That's plenty.
I thought it was on my resume. Sorry.
Like,
Oh, they blacked it out.
Your
Oh,
home address.
Oh.
Just so-
Yeah, we just
Wouldn't it-
want to make sure an Albany
Oh,
County resident.
I am an Albany County
A lot of us
resident.
have,
Oh,
I have a
okay.
Schenectady address, for example. so
Oh,
it's-
okay.
You want
No,
to make
I've
sure you're
lived
county
in,
residents.
yes,
Yeah.
I've lived in Albany County for 18 years, 18 plus years.
Okay.
And in the city.
Any other questions? Do we have a motion? Mr. Touche, seconded by Mr. Ward. All those in favor of the nomination, say aye. Opposed? Unanimous. Congratulations. This will be voted on the
Thank
floor
you.
tonight. Good luck to
Oh,
you.
thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.
here you go.
Very nice to meet you, yes.